Well, good evening, everybody, and please forgive my voice. All I can say is it's a little better than it was yesterday, but I hope it sounds suitably husky. Can I say how honored I am to be here tonight? I don't think I'm the sole British representative. In fact, I know there's at least two others, but it's wonderful to be here in this fantastic American festival of a wonderful organization, tomorrow's youth organization. It's also incredible for me to be here with the wonderful old friend of mine, and I hasten to add my husband's, Bill Clinton. Not to mention Quincy Jones, by the way. I must say that Bill and I have something in common these days, and that is that I sometimes think that our respective spouses spend more time talking to each other than they do to us. So, Bill, you and I really have to get together a bit more just to make them jealous. But of course, the reason that my husband and the Secretary Clinton are talking so much is because of their shared mission and their shared passion to bring peace to the Middle East and the people living there. And in our small way here tonight, we are also contributing to that mission for peace in the Middle East. I believe that what we're doing here tonight in raising money for the most fantastic cause of supporting women and children in the Middle East is something that is crucial if we're going to obtain lasting peace. And tomorrow's youth, TYO, could not have chosen a better title to explain why we need to support the development of young people in the region. The fact is that the Middle East has an unprecedented youth bulge. Over 30% of its population between the ages of 15 and 29. That's over 100 million youth, which is the highest proportion of youth to adults in the region's history. That, in a sense, is a huge potential of talent. And yet at the same time, in the Middle East, we have the largest refugee population in the world, which represents not just a great challenge for economic growth, but also a great waste of resources. Youth unemployment in the Middle East stands at 25%, the highest in any region. And even for those who've been lucky enough to go to university and graduate, the delay in getting a job is extremely long, lasting up to 3 years for boys and even longer for young women. So what do we do to make sure that this body of youth, with all their talent, is guided towards the path of peace and not the path of frustration and despair? Well, some people do have ideas. And one of those very special people is, of course, Hani Masri. And indeed, I was very lucky. In fact, I met Cheryl first, and she then later at the Clinton Global Initiative introduced me to her husband. And he's very persuasive, as you know. And he said to me, "You've got to come and see what I'm doing in my city of Nablus." And of course, because my husband spends a lot of time in the region, I too go there. And so I was very lucky to actually go to Nablus in 2008. And I visited the center, and I saw, as you saw, the wonderful buildings that are there, but more important than buildings is what was going on inside. The volunteer activities, the people coming together with parenting classes, for creches, for IT classes. But most of all, there was a real feeling of purpose in that building. Now, because I am interested in women, because I want to do as much as I can to help women get that economic independence, which I'm so lucky to have, which the women in this room are so lucky to have, I asked in particular, could I speak to some of the women who were using the centre? And I met two groups of women. Firstly, I met the mothers of the children that we saw in the video, the children who are in the refugee camps. Those beautiful children with those big eyes. But their mothers said to me, what can I do? I am desperate to do something to help my family, to support my children. I don't want to see them live like this, but there is nothing for me to do. I would take any job, but there are no jobs. And then I went and met a group of young women who'd actually come up through the centre, who were now either students or graduates of the wonderful university founded by the Masri family in Nablus. And these were young women like the young women that you would find here in Georgetown University or George Washington University, full of ideas and ambition, who were doing well at school. But when I said to them, well, what are you going to do next? I got back the same depressing answer. Nothing, because there is nothing for us to do here. And one young woman said to me, having just got a degree in accountancy, that I'm so desperate to get a job, but I'm thinking of learning how to embroider. Now, don't get me wrong, embroidery is a great thing to do, but it seems to me that when a woman has got a degree, that thinking the only thing she can do is get out her needle and sew is not a step forward. So we had young women, highly educated, with motivation but no work. And we had other women, mothers, who were desperate to get jobs. And so, talking with Hanny, talking with Nell, we decided that we would try and do something to bring the talent of the educated women to come to this cause of how could we create jobs for women in Nablus. And that's where we started our program for young entrepreneurs, equipping those young women with the capacity and the confidence and access to capital so that they could create a business, dream great dreams, and at the same time provide employment. And we have been incredibly lucky with the ideas that have come out. And yes, some of the ideas have involved embroidery, but actually high quality embroidery that can be sold in the markets here and in Europe. But we've also had incredible other ideas, such as waste collection around the areas of Nablus, getting the paper waste and recycling. These were ideas that the girls came up with. And so by taking these initially 23 young women, training them in business skills, and then helping them, 10 of them, to produce concrete business plans, which are then being financed, we actually started to say to the girls, yes, you can do something about this, and to the wider community of the mothers, yes, we can give you jobs. And it's particularly important that we do this for women, and that we encourage women to spread their wings beyond the traditional sectors for women. And within a year, we are really seeing these dreams come true. And we have been absolutely, totally impressed by the results. And don't take this just from me, because of course I'm biased, but Steve Strauss, a leading small business expert, who the US consulate took to see the TYO Centre in Nablus, last month actually wrote about our budding entrepreneurs and their inspiring stories in USA Today, taking that message to a huge audience here in America. So we want to do more. We want to build on what we've done in Nablus. We want to extend the scheme there. We want to go beyond the West Bank into other towns, including, yes, when we can, in Gaza. And of course, we're very excited that we're going to be going to Beirut and beyond that to Cairo, so that we can help other women, other young women, get together and build the small businesses which in turn help bring development, much needed development, to their countries. Now, I believe, and I know my husband and Secretary Clinton believe, that that peace in the Middle East is not an impossible dream. It is a very doable situation. But to do that, we need to make sure that everybody has a share, and particularly that women and children are brought along in this process. And why is it important that we invest in women? Because all the research shows that investing in women brings you better returns than, I'm sorry to say, investing in men. The World Bank produced research which shows that when you invest in a woman, 90% of the money will be reinvested by her in her family and the community. Sadly, the figure for men is only 30 to 40%. But the other thing about women, of course, is the multiplying effect that it has, because women are the people who are the backbone of society and communities, and therefore the backbone of a vibrant economy. And we know that this is the case. The world recognizes this is the case. And just a month ago, I was at the UN, where they were talking about the Millennium Development Goals. And there was no question in anyone's mind that we will not reach those goals unless we empower women and put them at the forefront of development. But of course, we can't do this on our own. We can't do this without help, the help that you have already given in this room by coming here tonight, the help that you will give with all the other contributions you're going to make to this wonderful cause tonight. And I don't just mean your money, but of course we need your money, but also we need your advice and your help and your time, and indeed your children's time. Follow the example that we've heard. Get involved in this movement, because I can assure you that every minute you spend on it, every dollar you spend on it, is returned 1,000-fold. If you get the chance, do what I did. Take up Hanny's offer. Come to Nablus. Come to the Middle East and see the potential that is there. The potential which, with your help, can be opened not just for the benefit of the people of Nablus, the people of Palestine, the people of the Middle East, but for the benefit of all of us in the world. Because unless and until we get lasting peace and prosperity in the Middle East, there is really no lasting comfort, peace and prosperity for the rest of the world either. Thank you.